What's going on, everyone? Let's talk about Taurean Prince and his overall player breakdown going into this season for the Lakers. He, in my opinion, is the one acquisition that I think may end up having the biggest impact, right? I think Jackson Hayes is going to be very good for the Lakers. He's got that youth, athleticism. He's a really good pick and roll defensive big, defending the pick and roll. You got Gabe Vincent, who I think will add some stability to that bench unit. I think he'll be a more consistent version of Dennis Schroeder. I think he's, a legit 3-and-D style point guard. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's a guy that gives you 15 a game or something crazy like that. Cam Reddish, I think he has a lot of potential, a lot of upside, although it kind of feels like he may potentially be the odd man out at times. But regardless, right? You look at this Lakers roster, they got some really nice pieces. I think Taurean Prince, as far as both sides of the ball goes, Taurean Prince may end up having the biggest impact, even if it doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, right? I think he's a guy, if you watch on a nightly basis, I think you're going to be like, man, that was a huge steal. I mean, that's what he was for the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? He was that guy that did the dirty work, that played hard, many occasions guarded the best player on the other team, and was not afraid of the moment. This is a guy that hit some very big shots. Against the Lakers even, he hit some very big shots. This isn't a guy that's going to go out there, give you, 25 and 5 a game. He's not that guy. He's not going to give you that. But what he is going to give you is he's going to give you hard-nosed defense. He's going to make the tough plays. He's going to sacrifice his body. He's going to do the dirty work. He's going to dive for the loose balls. He's going to be your favorite player's favorite player for the Lakers. He's also a guy that I fully believe may end up being in the closing lineup. They want Austin Reeves to play point guard duties more, right? And they want to kind of put him in a position to allow to make plays for others more. I wouldn't be shocked if our closing lineup is something like Austin Reeves, Taurean Prince, Jared Vanderbilt, especially if he has a much more improved three-point shot. If not, then I think it's Rui Hachimura, and then LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Because Taurean Prince at 6'6", 6'7", gives you so much versatility and just perimeter defense. And imagine him, and especially like if you have Vando in the closing lineup, imagine Anthony Davis holding down the paint, Jared Vanderbilt being an absolute menace out on the perimeter, Taurean Prince doing the same thing, and then Austin Reeves, right? LeBron James would be the odd man out, but he still can defend. I mean, we watched him defend. So that, I think, is just a huge impact in and of itself. But this is a guy that is a legit 3-and-D style player, right? This is everything the Lakers have been trying to find for 10 years now, right? Like, it's been so long. I mean, not that long, but you get my point. Like, the last kind of comparable guy to this that comes to mind was Kyle Kuzma, right? A guy that could legit be a 3-and-D. This is a guy that shoots 38% from three-point range. For his career, he's 37.2%. This is a guy that shoots 56% from two-point range, has a 56.5 EFG. It's a guy that shoots the free throws well. Last year, he shot 84, almost 85% from the free throw line. So he's a guy that can knock down free throws and be clutch in big moments. It's a guy that hits big shots. It's a guy that will do the dirty work, play both sides of the ball. This is a real impact player. And on top of all those things, he's also a savvy veteran guy that you can trust. He's 29 years old. He's been there. He's had experiences. He's played big roles. He's played small roles. He's played roles in between, right? He's been in the playoffs. He's played hard. He's hit big shots, big moments. He did it against us, right? Everything that he brought the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is why it was so surprising that Minnesota just let him go. We basically swapped Troy Brown for Taurean Prince. And Taurean Prince, as much as I like Troy Brown, look, I like Troy Brown a lot. I defended Troy Brown on numerous occasions. I was really hoping the Lakers would keep Troy Brown. I think he's 23 years old? Like, he still has a lot of room to grow. But Taurean Prince is the better player, right? At least for now. And he's a guy that I think is going to make a big impact. He's a LeBron James type of guy. A vet that is going to play hard, is smart enough, and has an IQ enough to play off of LeBron. He's not going to do anything crazy. He's not going to demand too much. He's going to be happy and settle in for whatever role that is. whether he starts, comes off the bench, whatever, right? And he's a guy that can play multiple positions, which has a lot of value, right? Minnesota had him play multiple positions. He was playing the 2 guard at times for them, playing the 3 guard, played a lot of 4 for them. So this is a guy that has that versatility that is going to translate for the Lakers. I think he gets primarily the 2 guard. I do, because you look at the Lakers roster and they just have a plethora of forwards. And it's going to be very hard to get everybody playing time at the 3 and the 4 spot. And especially if the plan is to have Anthony Davis play the 4 more. That's what Darvin Ham and Rob Pelinka have said. That's why they got Jackson Hayes. The reports came out that, look, hey, they might even start Jackson Hayes just to kind of get a look early on for Anthony Davis and Hayes and see what that looks like. Lakers are trying to bring in another big. So if Anthony Davis plays 20 minutes a game at the 4 spot, then that makes it very hard to get other players a bunch of playing time at the 4, right? Because LeBron's probably going to play some time at the 4. So you probably have 90% of your 4 spot minutes between LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And then LeBron's going to play some of the 3. And then you need to figure out Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. How do they get minutes, right? You need to give both of them 20 plus minutes. So the 3 spot is going to be very, very taxing. Same thing with the 4. So how do you solve that and get Taurean Prince's minutes? You just move him over to the 2, and you have him play the 2 guard, and you allow him to be the backup. So now you have, let's say they don't start Hayes for now, right? We'll see what happens. But let's just be straightforward. You got, D'Lo, you got Austin Reeves, you got Rui Hachimura, because I don't think that they're paying him $17 million a year to not start him. LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Really good, really great starting 5. And then the bench 5, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis weren't superstars, the bench 5 is really good too. The bench can win you a lot of games by itself, right? You got Gabe Vincent, you'd have Taurean Prince, you'd have Jared Vanderbilt. Again, imagine Jared Vanderbilt and Taurean Prince out on the perimeter. Like, whew, man, like, good luck. And that's our bench unit. And then you still have Jackson Hayes, who is a great pick and roll defensive big, can block shots, all that stuff. And then Cam Reddish, probably, right at that point. Like, if you just wanted to go straight up 5 for 5, that's probably how the units go. It's probably how the rotation is. Now, if the Lakers end up getting Christian Wood, then that could change. Then maybe, you go Wood, AD, LeBron, Reeves, and D'Lo. And then you have, Vincent, Prince, Vando, Rui, and Hayes. Good. Very good, right? That's very good. And so, look, this is a guy who came off the bench a lot for Minnesota. So he's not going to cry and gripe and, oh, woe is me, why aren't I starting? I mean, he only started 4 games for Minnesota last year out of 54 games total he played. So that's good. Right, that helps a lot. That he's a guy that, is used to coming off the bench. Even the previous year for Minnesota, he played 69 games and only started 8. It's a guy that gets like 17 to 20 minutes a game, 22 minutes a game. So he'll probably be looking at in that ballpark. Probably be looking at like 17 to 20 minutes a game. But this is a guy that could start on a night, right, and give you quality minutes, right? Say, D'Lo gets the night off or Reeves gets the night off or whatever. What do we do? Oh, Taurean Prince. There you go. Right? Like, I just think Taurean Prince, I think, is going to be the guy that is really hard to take off the court for the Lakers. Right? I just do. I really do. Because he's a guy that plays well off the ball and now has several playmakers that can help him and put him in position to succeed. Also, Darvin Ham loves guys like him. Hard-nosed, gets after it, point of attack guy, can guard the perimeter, defensive, hard-nosed. Taurean Prince even did a whole interview and he talked about that, how pumped he is for Darvin Ham to be his coach because, he's defensive-minded and that's what he prides himself on, which is true. You hear a lot of guys like, oh, yeah, I'm pumped for defense and blah, 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 and then they just don't really play defense or they're terrible at defense. Like, no, that's been Taurean Prince's MO, right? Like, that's been his thing pretty much his whole career. A guy that gets after it defensively and a legit prototypical 3-and-D style guy. Darvin Ham loves these types of guys. And I fully believe that he's a guy that's going to be able to come in and provide that just quality production for the Lakers. I'm pumped to see him this year. I really think he may end up being the new acquisition, right? Out of the new acquisitions, I think he may end up being the guy that has the biggest impact for the Lakers, even if it doesn't show up in the box scores. So you're really going to have to watch him, right? Because, again, I think Gabe Vincent is more than capable of giving you 15 a game, being the backup point guard, and being a 3-and-D guy. Plus, he's kind of like a perfect prototypical, point guard next to LeBron James and stuff. Jackson Hayes, right? Depending on how much opportunity he gets, which I imagine he probably gets a lot because Anthony Davis is going to miss 30-plus games. So, there are guys that can have an impact of the new acquisition. I'm not talking about the Reeves and the D'Los and the Ruiz, the guys that are already on the roster. I'm talking about of the new guys. I think Taurean Prince has the potential to have a huge impact and do the dirty work that just doesn't show up, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Somewhere between? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know.